what I'm using, you can use anything you want. I'm using like a ET1270 size 12, a little bit of a curve to it. But you can use any kind of a terrestrial or whatever you got. What we're doing is technique here. You can see slightly curved. I'm using, because of what I grabbed, and I'll be able to mess around with deer hair a little bit with it. 6/0 white thread. Fab guard. I don't think they make it anymore, but I got ooze on it. And as you guys probably know, I usually start my thread where my body is going to end. So it's about, I don't know how far behind. I was trying to say a third of the way, but you get a smaller pair of scissors, nothing too big for this guy. Alright, and the Stimulator consists of a lot of deer hair. That's what we're going to use. We've done some deer hair classes in the past. I'm just going to take a small portion. Pull it by the tips. Pull the underfur out. You can comb it or just knock it out. I'm grabbing about twice the amount that I actually need. And I'm going to put it in a stacker. There are different kinds of stackers. Tips down. And we talked about this when we were doing the muddler. And when you pull it out, if you want the tips pointed to the back, you might as well pull it out of the stacker so that they're already in that position. Right, that's way too much deer hair. So I'm going to take away some and set it up there. What length? Oh, I don't know, gap and a half. So I'm going to transfer that. I should have my thread right at the tip of the hook. Alright. I'm just sort of pulling this up so that if it torques around, I want to check my length a little bit long. I'm going to keep it right up on top of the hook. And as I work my way back, get some of these out of the way, I'm reducing the amount of pressure, because if I pull real hard, it's going to really want to flare on me. Pull a little bit because we do want it to flare, but we don't want it to torque to that far side. So you can see the far side is fine, sitting right up on top of the hook shank. And the way I did that was not so much pressure on that last turn. Couple laps and then come forward and then put the pressure on it. And as long as you're holding the tips here, it'll always maintain being on top of the fly. Alright? So now you can hold this down, and if you want, you can either do one or two things. You can cut your material off, or you can do some loose wraps. Come forward, and then just secure that down. Alright. And come back here, we're going to grab a hackle. I'm using some Coachman. You know, it's a size 12, so I'm looking for a size 12. Doesn't have to be exactly a 12. I'm going to come into this area, strip it down. Turn around. I have the dull side pointing forward. Secure that. Make sure that I don't torque that tail. Then it's just a matter of putting some webbing on, and you can use polypropylene. I'm just using some super dry fly dubbing. Let's pull back a little bit on this. Dry fly dubbing, I never use dubbing wax. Pour out a very, very small amount just to change the color of the thread. Once you get a little bit of dubbing on there, you can add more dubbing to dubbing. It makes it a lot easier to dub. Great, somebody's vacuuming upstairs. Perfect. That'll be real nice. I'm just adding whatever amount I think I need to pull this off. Pull back and put down, you can see it. It's about a 4-inch noodle. And then I'm holding everything and wrapping back now. My first turn is right now. I'm going to advance my thread forward. Right about there. I'm going to pull down tight on that, because I want that front end to sort of taper down. The thing about that dry fly super fine dubbing is it comes off the thread real nice. Alright, now we're going to palmer the feather forward. Equal distance wraps. However many it takes to get there. Pretty good right there. Sort of out of focus. Now I'm going to come up front and just add a thread foundation to right behind the eye and work my way back.